Welcome to the new era of service delivery, COVID-19 digital transformation. Welcome, everyone, and thank you for attending our session. I hope everyone has been doing well in these difficult times. Today, we'll be discussing how the COVID-19 pandemic has caused government agencies to digitally transform in how they deliver critical public health and benefit program services, leveraging Google Cloud. My name is Chris Haas, and I'm a strategic business executive with Google Cloud, focusing on our public health response solutions. Brandon?
Hi, I'm Brandon Williams. I'm the Innovation Strategy Manager in Eagle County, Colorado, and I break things and sometimes even fix them.
Great. The COVID-19 pandemic is impacting communities all over the world. At the same time, it has inspired coordination between public and private sectors and across international borders on a remarkable scale. The best way for technology companies like Google to help is by supporting the work of public health authorities to keep people healthy and safe. The full impact of COVID-19 is still unfolding. However, there are already major changes in the government and the use of technology in aiding pandemic response efforts. Google is proud to be one of many organizations partnering with government agencies during this period. We are working alongside government leaders to implement new solutions that help them to enable remote workforce to continue to operate normally during the pandemic, enable them to leverage real-time and historical data for pandemic policy decision-making, and support them for what's coming next as our country reopens and the economy jumpstarts, including planning for future phases of the pandemic. The developing silver lining is how these paradigm shifts are affecting change in how governments deliver digital services, both now and beyond the pandemic. Google is helping governments in a few major areas, aiding agencies to handle the rapid surge by providing scalable systems and virtual assistants, enabling rapid application development and deployment of modern systems to manage the pandemic benefit programs, and implementation can happen within days and weeks versus months and years. Also, leveraging AI and ML for processing documents to help automate the massive amounts of paper being submitted to agencies. Our differentiator is our speed and agility to help agencies bring new cost-effective solutions online, enabling states to more effectively manage constituent applications. I feel there's one standout theme in how our country is managing this pandemic. It's the speed of our response efforts. Local governments are needing to break down traditional processes and modernize legacy systems to ensure they are moving as quickly as possible to respond to the rapidly expanding needs of our constituents. There is an expectation of government to operate as normal, even in these abnormal times. The vision for our public health response platform is to transform the ability of public health officials to detect, evaluate, react to, and manage risks posed to public health and safety by the pandemic. We strive to offer a 10x scale to 10x scale public health officials' ability to gain situational awareness across their entire environment and to effectively engage and educate the public at multiple levels, whether it be a specific individual in contact tracing efforts and or to the public at large. Public health authorities have an incredibly important role in responding to COVID-19, but they face many challenges due to the scale of the pandemic, in addition to organizational limitations caused by legacy processes and systems, which slow their response efforts. There's a flood of new data, but limited ability to understand it for decision-making, if they're even able to access and leverage it at all due to regulatory and or privacy concerns. And their operating environment is constantly changing, resulting in incorrect or misinformation. But there are many opportunities for innovation. By leveraging Google Cloud's serverless, analytics, and AI ML technology, government agencies are scaling their limited human resources through automation and reducing manual tasks to identify and trace new cases, predict the spread of the virus, and effectively engage and educate the public on the response efforts and real-time information. We need to remember that data warehousing is not a use case. Data warehouse is a solution that enables higher order use cases to make organizations data-driven. Organizations have started using data warehouses as the foundation for operational reporting, for example, monthly standardized reports. Government organizations must increasingly enable their teams to carry out ad hoc analyses. This requires the use of self-service tools. Organizations are also looking to mine the right data stored in their data warehouses to perform ad hoc analysis to understand correlations, identify patterns, and detect anomalies. As organizations increasingly aspire to be data-driven, they are trying to harness the rich data in their data warehouse to create predictive analytic models and operationalize these predictive insights. This requires the data warehouse to support their machine learning initiatives. Our goal is to help government transform into operationalized decision-making organizations. But the typical data warehouse project is fraught with failure and millions of dollars of wasted money. Traditional platforms are just not capable of keeping up with the new demands we have on interconnected data needs. At Google, we are uniquely positioned to support organizations in migrating to new data analytics platform technologies. Why? Because we used to have the same problems many enterprises now face. We solve the data pipeline inefficiencies and complexities with a petabyte scale data warehouse platform called Google Cloud BigQuery. We offer the same analytics technology to all enterprises now with simple pricing. BigQuery is fully managed and serverless, which means there's no infrastructure to manage. You can simply focus on analyzing your data to find meaningful insights using familiar SQL queries. And through our serverless data analytics solution, we eliminate the need for systems engineering in the data analytics workflow so that you can focus 100% of your time on data analysis. Governments realize this innovation by digitally transforming through their use of the Google Public Health Response Platform. Working closely with our partners, Google has built a serverless analytics and application modernization platform, which aids public health across major pandemic response areas, such as disease and case management, including active and passive contact tracing, which is a critical aspect of public health pandemic response. Also, tracking of resources and logistics, and engaging the community through proactive outreach and education. At the center of Google's smart analytics platform, enabling government agencies to leverage their data in new ways to accelerate innovation and deliver critical services. Integrating public health response solutions with Google's smart analytics platform enables customers to easily scale the processing and analysis of data. Our fully managed serverless approach automatically takes care of performance, scalability, and availability requirements for your data analysis. With no infrastructure to manage, you can easily leverage products like BigQuery to analyze gigabytes to petabytes of data in minutes, not months. Public health agencies are now driving instant insight from their data, empowering professional and citizen data analysts with AI-powered predictive insights. With a secure and compliant foundation, agency and constituent data is secured and private. Google offers built-in data protection at scale to help protect governments from intrusion, theft, and attacks. Our multi-layered security approach across hardware, services, user identity, storage, internet communication, and operations provides redundancy and reliability, while our purpose-built chips, servers, storage, network, and data centers protect against hardware-level intrusion. Data is automatically encrypted while in transit and at rest, and can only be accessed by the authorized roles and services defined by the customer with audited access to the encryption keys. Within Google Cloud, data is also automatically replicated and encrypted for backup and disaster recovery. And at a basic level in public health, we can't even begin to have a conversation without talking about security and compliance. So compliance, such as FedRAMP, HITRUST, and HIPAA certifications, amongst others, are built into the core of all of our products. No matter where you are in the journey to digital transformation, know that we have the capabilities to help you solve your mission outcome. Using maturity frameworks such as this, we will help you assess your organization's maturity and serve as your trusted advisor in identifying the appropriate capabilities and use cases you should be focusing on. So let's talk through an example. Leveraging serverless and AI-powered contact center and chatbot solutions, our contact center AI, or CCAI, and Dialogflow solutions are rapidly deployable and able to integrate with public health contact tracing processes to automate the human tracer activities and reduce manual case management tasks, whether that be engaging with people via the phone or online chat. Leveraging CCAI, government agencies can transform their contact center into an AI-powered, customer-centric optimization platform, which integrates all valuable data, provides real-time and relevant information to callers and agents, and turns customer interactions into actionable insights. Here we have an example video. Let's watch for a moment. First, we have a phone call with a person which the public health agency would like to engage with for contact tracing. Powered by Contact Center AI and Dialogflow, the virtual agent is able to interact with the caller to collect some of the needed contact tracing details. Let's have a listen.
Hi, this is the Department of Health. As part of an investigation into a confirmed case of COVID-19, we are following up with individuals who may have had contact with a case while they were possibly contagious. We are calling to check on you and discuss some public health recommendations. Is it okay to go ahead?
Yes.
Thank you. We'll start with your name. Please tell me your first and last name.
Brian McDonald.
Okay, I have your first name as Brian and your last name as McDonald. Next, I'll need you to provide your date of birth. You can say something like January 3rd, 2000 or May 15th, 1995. Please go ahead.
January 17th, 2000.
Got it. I have your date of birth as January 17th, 2000. Now, please tell me your home address.
1951 East Spring Street, Jacksonville.
I have your address as 1951 East Spring Street in Jacksonville. Are you calling in with your own phone number?
Yes.
Okay. Right now, we are following up with individuals who may have been present at John's Bar and Restaurant on the 24th of May 2020. Were you present at the location on that day?
I was.
Next, the caller is transferred to a live agent.
Well-being. Do you have any questions?
Yes, I want to talk to a contact tracer.
Sure. Please hold while I transfer you.
At this point, the live agent is able to leverage Contact Center AI's Agent Assist technology to provide them with live and recommended knowledge-based responses to the caller's questions.
Hello, Brian. I see you'd like to speak with a contact tracer. How can I help you?
Oh, thank you. Could you tell me how my privacy will be protected?
That's a great question. First off, we want to thank you for calling in. We take this very seriously. The confidentiality of your identity and health information is of the utmost importance. Your name will never be shared with anyone you refer us to, and the privacy will be protected as well. Ultimately, privacy encourages participation in adoption, and as a result, will help us protect more people.
Oh, that's great, I see.
Leveraging Google Cloud's Contact Center AI and Dialogflow, as well as expertise in AI and ML built into our speech-to-text and natural language processing solutions, we're able to automate many of the human contact tracer tasks. Additionally, we're able to automatically transform this conversation from unstructured to structured data for further analysis by public health agencies. Here's the high-level architecture. At each stage, collection, transformation, analysis, and visualization, we are using serverless technology to deliver a modern and scalable solution for government. And this solution provides powerful out-of-the-box analyses and visualizations, which enables public health responders to take action immediately. Throughout the pandemic, we've been implementing this and many other public health response solutions with government customers around the world. For example, the state of Illinois has deployed CCAI and Dialogflow in their contact centers to aid in their pandemic response efforts, both for contact tracing and for benefit programs. Additionally, the state of New York has done similar. Both of these states have been hit hard by COVID-19 and are seeing success using these types of solutions in responding to the pandemic. So circling back to our functional overview and the core Google Cloud Smart Analytics platform, let's take a quick look at the visualization output from this platform. Here's an example. Here, we're leveraging Google's Looker dashboarding, visualization, and business intelligence tool to bring in, visualize, and analyze all of the COVID-19 data that we're collecting into the public health response platform. And remember, this is a serverless environment. The back end is completely serverless, and the front end dashboards that we're looking at here are also running in a serverless environment. First, we're looking at the state of Colorado, all counties, and all data year to date. And we're scaling it to just the raw data population size. Now we're focusing it on the last 2 weeks only, and we're scaling it to 100,000 cases. And we're able to drill down even further into county level data, and we're also able to bring in many other public data sets available within Google's BigQuery solution, including mobility, weather, and other COVID-19 public data sets. All of this is delivered to our customers through low maintenance serverless solutions so that you can focus on analyzing the data to make decisions versus maintaining the underlying infrastructure. To deliver this type of solution, as I've said before, we use our smart analytics platform, with the core of that being BigQuery. BigQuery brings in native capabilities that allow you to do both petabyte scale analyses in addition to integrated machine learning and GIS functionality. And it is a truly serverless platform that allows you to focus solely on your analytical needs. Additionally, for application modernization, you can leverage Anthos, which is our application modernization infrastructure that can be used in a multi-cloud environment to deliver these type of capabilities. So with that, I'd like to hand it over to Brandon, who will take it from here.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, I think you nailed it in talking about the need for government or public sector employees to be able to do complex analysis using simple tools, natural language. We started on the arc at the very lowest level when COVID first started spreading. We are an international ski destination, and you can bet if somebody sneezes anywhere in the world, we're probably going to see it here at some point. COVID was no different. We saw it pretty early on. Now, the complexity here was we had limited testing. Despite what was being said, the test volume was very, very limited. We knew we had community spread. And we knew, because recovery planning starts when an incident starts, we knew we were going to have to build trust. And in a pandemic, the public is just as much a team player as anybody sitting on the first responder or emergency operations centers. They may serve in different capacities, but we knew that trust and data sharing was going to be key to being able to get through this. So the first thing we did was very simple. We used a Google form, and we sat down with our EPI teams, and we got it out the door. And this was really just tracking symptoms. Where we couldn't do testing, we wanted to know who was sick and who was not feeling well. So we made it mobile friendly, Google Forms dumped into a sheet, and we were able to tie it to Data Studio. The Data Studio allowed us to take the information regarding symptoms, the stuff outside of testing, and combine it with the stuff that we were getting from our private medical practitioners and other nonprofit and other partners, and start to build a 360 picture of what our community impact was really looking like. It was important to us early on to only create one dashboard. We didn't create a community dashboard and then an internal operations dashboard. There's one dashboard. And so we automated as much as possible to make sure information we were getting was going right out the door to the public in real time. And so from that, we got a lot of questions from other communities on how they could replicate it. So we stood up a quick Google site. We spent some time with YouTube, created some templates, and we made it available, widely available to anybody that wanted it. And very quickly, we saw it adopted across counties in Colorado and nationwide. Now that turned into, thankfully we've got a really close working relationship with the state of Colorado anyway. They've been a longtime Google partner as we have. And so being able to share data in Google was natural. And this spread up to the governor's office and across to the departments to be able to figure out how could we do symptoms tracking and share the information back to locals in a very narrow sense so that it was secure, real-time information for tactical level at the local level so that they could maneuver resources and respond, but give the state that strategic overview and picture that they needed to be able to start allocating and thinking next steps in the response. And so we worked together with the state and a lot of other partners, and we were very happy to be able to launch the same kind of symptom tracker we did in Eagle County at the state level to start to get that 360 picture. And that's turned into a much wider discussion about how we share data across the disease prevention and disease monitoring spectrum. And so specifically, it's created kind of a new normal of data sharing. We're starting to look at that tactical and strategic levels, being able to dump information into central locations so that we can throw BigQuery at it and extract the data in natural language that's unique to a geography or a demographic need, and be able to share that information securely across a vast number of partners. But it hasn't been just Google Forms and Sheets and Data Studio. We've seen an explosion in all of the Office productivity tool set. Meet, unsurprising. We used to be able to get together and talk. Now we have to do it remotely. And so our data regarding Meet explosion is unsurprising. Where I think it is surprising is in the changing adoption rates that we saw regarding groups, regarding maps and other dashboard elements, charts in Sheets, and specifically around Google Sites. We've seen a real explosion in stuff we would have generated in PDF or other reports. We're now doing dynamically in Sites. And this is an example. Here, we had a regional response where we had our COVID testing locations coming off of Google Sheets, some other data. We created a mobile-friendly Google site that's simple enough for my mom to use, and we pack it in with a map and contact information, and that's updated in near real time so that all of the testing information and how to initiate that process is immediately accessible. It's carried over into some of the just-in-time training we've had to do for Emergency Operations Center. A pandemic brings in a lot of partners, many of whom have never stepped inside of an Emergency Operations Center before. And so to teach them about incident command, emergency operations, what their job functions and roles are, we stood up a Google site. We were able to educate them with simple YouTube videos, Google Docs, drive aids, job aids, and be able to convey information so that they could be prepared when they first stepped in to be able to help and pitch in the response. It's helped us look at our own internal planning. Here is our equivalent of an intranet. As we moved to remote work, we had about 170 different activities that now needed to take place without a VPN, direct, on any device, securely. So we moved a lot of our processes to Google, and now all of our internal operations are accessible within a single landing page that's greatly reduced complexity. And it's given us additional visibility into usage. Who's doing what? What are the needs? Where are we seeing surges, and being able to respond to that accordingly? I think one of the more exciting things, and you alluded to it earlier, was Dialogflow. Dialogflow in a pandemic, we've got 40 or 50 different players. Everybody is going so and so deep. The information fluctuates on a constant basis, and we needed one way that people could natural language search to get information that was important to them. Dialogflow was a perfect fit. In this case, in the low-code environment, it took us 8 days from the first time we sat around a table talking about it to where we had something deployed. Was a very, very quick turnaround. And now we're able to respond by still keeping Google Docs where the primary players are updating their information in real time. We scrape that and make it available in the chat. We've expanded that beyond COVID. As we're in wildfire season, we're now addressing fire restrictions data, wildfire response information. And we're now on a path that we're going to bring all of our government services in so that you can get to a point where you can ask your fridge whether your driver's license is up for renewal. I think this new normal has brought together a lot of lessons. I'm really excited about, I wish we would have done it in an exercise, but I am really excited about the wider inclusion steps that we've taken horizontally and vertically across local governments with state government in this data sharing effort. I think keeping it simple was important. Being able, now that all of our budgets just got obliterated, being able to track cost avoidance and efficiencies with tools that we already have at our fingertips. Our staff has been on Google for, I think, 8 years now. And so these were tools that they naturally stepped into, immediately deployed. And most importantly, the tools like that Google form for symptoms tracking, we deployed that within those initial first hours. And those were designed by, myself and the lead of the EPI team sat down and hammered it out. So there was no delay in waiting for communications or other designers to step in. We designed it, we deployed it. And so I think that's really key to moving forward. Deploying and iterating, being able to do something like the chatbot in real time where information is changing so often and keeping that updated with a lot of partners has been invaluable in coordinating our response. Here, making sure the public had access transparent, accountable, in real time, and being able to deliver that in very short order has been important. Government sharing is just too hard. We need these recipe books, a library of customizable templates. We've seen an explosion in sharing across government sectors to be able to contribute to each other to help in the COVID response. And I'm really excited to see where that goes in the next step. I am a true believer, and I do believe government's awesome. So I think the future of government work, like everybody, remote work has now been proven to be a reality. So shifting into these collaboration tools that provide the same security, access on any device from anywhere, and being able to work confidently remotely and do so confident that your information is secure has been pervasive in every single program that we do. I'm really charged up about the way that leadership has embraced this. Seeing government leaders think creatively about using these collaboration tools and demanding things like dashboard to make data-driven decisions and change deployment practices, sometimes even in the middle of a response, to be able to respond to those community needs, I think is really exciting. From a collaboration standpoint, this has been unprecedented. Having private sector, nonprofits, and others sitting in that emergency operations center and sharing real-time information to make sure economic recovery is happening, that community needs are being taken care of, and that we're prioritizing cases for testing and handling has been exciting. I'm looking forward to where that takes us in future efforts when it's not a pandemic. And I think low cost, high impact. Nothing demonstrates this better than being able to look at the impact that we're taking financially from the lack of things like travel revenue and trying to project what that impact's going to be over the next couple of years, and moving into that with the confidence that we have a tool set that's going to enable us to be able to respond with the same type of delivery that the customer expects in their private life, and expecting government to move at the speed of the private sector, and now we can do so. I think one of the things that's really come out of this is that need for public sector communities to come together. And I'm so proud of the work that we're doing with Google, with our partners in the UK, with our partners at the state, local, and federal level here in the United States, where we've launched a public sector community that's building those cookbooks, those recipe books for copy, customize, and deploy. No additional cost in the tools that you already use. And just the conversations that are having it, bringing a face to the common challenges that we have. And we meet on a regular basis now, and I'm looking forward to bringing so many more members in with so many more different ideas and eyes.
Thank you, Brandon. It's always a pleasure to partner with you. You're a great person to work with, a great team that you have up there. And thank you again for presenting with me in this session.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Thanks, everyone.